Can I increase my prices due to age? That's a great question, and we're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, if you are new to the show, I recommend that you subscribe because we are here 5 days a week, and we answer your questions about cleaning and growing a cleaning business. And if you are a homeowner and you are like peeking it on the inside, I recommend you still subscribe because you'll learn a lot that will save you a lot of money when you hire a house cleaner or if you clean your own home. All right, on to today's show. There is a house cleaner that called into the show and asked this question.
Hi, Angela. Here's my question. I have the same client for about 6 years now. She has 4 children, all which were very young toddlers at the time that I started cleaning. Now they are grown a whole lot more, and I'm wondering if I can raise the price of her cleaning biweekly because of the fact that the children are older, the house is more lived in. But is this something that is unethical? And if I should raise the price, how exactly would I address that to the client? Thank you so much.
Hey Shannon, I am so glad you asked the question. And the answer is yes. If you have not raised your price in 6 years, you are definitely due for a price increase. That said, we cannot call it a price increase because the kids are older, okay? Age increase and then charging something to that, like a price increase, at any age is age discrimination. And we cannot do that. So we cannot call it that. But because of inflation and because of regular price increases all across the board with cleaning chemicals, with taxes, with licenses, with the plugins that you're using for your website, stuff to grow your business, the price of gas, the price of vehicles, everything has gone up. And so yes, just due to inflation across the board, you will raise your prices between 2 to 4, 2 to 5% per year, depending on where you live and the scope of the job. So you will be raising your prices. At Savvy Cleaner, which is our training company, we recommend that you have an annual review with your customer. And that is a renewable contract at the end of the year. At the end of the year, that is when we raise our prices. That said, we also do a new walkthrough with the customer. Because when we do a new walkthrough, what we're doing is we're re-establishing the relationship that we had with the customer when we did our first walkthrough. Now, often customers are gone when we're there. They don't see us while we're there cleaning. And so now they forgot after a year why they hired us. So this gives us another chance to go back over that initial conversation and have them show us anything that has changed since the last year. Now, we may be in the loop, but maybe we're not. Maybe there are things that are bugging them for the last couple months and they haven't been willing to tell us. But if we walk through one more time, they can say, hey, look, you've missed this every single time for the last few visits. And you go, okay, great, let me make a note of that. And you reaffirm all the different priorities that the customers have because, as you said, the kids are older and their priorities have shifted. And so if you are adapting week by week to new priorities, but your pricing hasn't changed, then yes, you are absolutely due for a price increase or a price raise. So what I recommend doing at this point, just get with your customer and say, hey, listen, a lot has changed in the last 6 years since I started working here. And I would like to go on another walkthrough with you so that we're both on the same page as I update my policies and procedures and I make sure that everything that we are doing matches your expectations because your priorities have changed a little bit as a family as the kids have gotten older. So let's go ahead and do another walkthrough. At the same time, I will probably be giving you a new price based on the walkthrough. And so give them that heads up and let them know I'm going to be doing a walkthrough. We'll reevaluate where we are. You can share with me things that I've missed or things that I could improve on or things that are new priorities for you or things that are not a priority that we've been doing for the last 6 years. And so it gives you both a chance to kind of air all of your differences and to get everything out in the open and no surprises. Now, if there is no walkthrough, what you can do is you can send a notice with your worksheet, for example, and just say, hey, our prices are going up starting December 1st. And that gives them a whole month lead time. And I usually say give them about a month lead time so that you have one more visit in between now and the time that, the second biweekly visit. You have a chance to discuss that on your next visit. Or they have a whole window where they can go ahead and find a new company knowing that your price is going to change. So if you already know what the priorities are and you already know what your price increase is going to be, you can leave that on a note and just say, hey, December 1st or whatever the day is, our prices will be going up. Your new price will be this amount per cleaning. And then they have a choice to either hire somebody new or they have a choice to figure out how they're going to pay you or whatever. But usually that strikes a conversation. And that's the reason why I like to do another walkthrough and to have another conversation with them. And then just make sure that you're both on the same page. There are customers that we've had for dozens of years, but here's the catch. You have to continually renew that relationship, because a relationship of somebody that you haven't seen for multiple years, it starts to disintegrate and fall apart over the years. And so they have things that are bugging them that they want to tell you, but they haven't seen you and they're waiting for the right time. They're hoping they run into you again. They want to do it in person. They don't want to do it over a text. This is a perfect opportunity. So how do you do it? I recommend, it being 6 years, I recommend that you do another walkthrough with the customer. And I recommend that for future business, that you have a renewable contract that renews every single year and that you raise your prices every single year. For you to go 6 years and be fortunate enough to be able to keep the same pricing structure is awesome, but that doesn't pay well for you and your family because all of your other expenses have gone up. All right, I hope this helps a little bit. If it does, please give us a thumbs up and add to the conversation in the notes below. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear the things that you think are different or things that you have tried that are different or other suggestions that you might have. Let's start the conversation and keep it going. All right, until then, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.